Welcome to Homeless Pain Stories. Florida, the Sunshine State, the land of warm beaches, palm-lined roads, and winter escapes for millions of Americans. A place where retirees once dreamed of peaceful sunsets, gentle breezes, and golden years spent in comfort. But tonight, that dream shivers. Because when the sun dips beneath the Gulf and the winds sharpen across the Atlantic coast, another Florida emerges. A Florida few tourists ever see. A Florida seniors never thought they would face. In hidden corners of Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville, tents flutter in the cold coastal air. Old men wrap themselves in thin blankets. Grandmothers lean against concrete walls, whispering prayers that morning will come quickly. Sidewalks become bedrooms. Bus stops become shelters. And a fierce winter, one of the coldest Florida has seen in decades, presses against bones already fragile with age. This is not the Florida seen on postcards. This is the Florida too often ignored. If you are hearing these words, I invite you to pause and reflect. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Homeless Life Stories, not only to follow along, but to walk with us. Because only when we listen, share, and refuse to look away, can stories born in the shadows find their way into the light. The two faces of Florida, home to more than 22 million people, glows like a jewel of America's southeast. Miami's oceanfront luxury condos rise like glass towers over Biscayne Bay. Naples boasts million-dollar homes lining quiet canals. Tampa's skyline glitters over the Hillsborough River. And Orlando pulses with theme parks that draw crowds from across the world. But beneath that brightness lives another Florida, a Florida where seniors, some in their late 60s, others in their 70s and even 80s, sleep on sidewalks from Fort Lauderdale to St. Petersburg, where fixed incomes collapse under rising rents, where medications become luxuries, where bodies weakened by age cannot withstand cold nights in the open air. Just steps away from Miami's $5,000 a-month waterfront apartments, elderly men line up for a hot meal at shelters that fill before the sun sets. And each night, more than 34,000 people across Florida go to sleep without stable housing. Thousands of them are seniors. If a state is a mirror, Florida shows two reflections at once, one glowing with privilege, the other trembling beneath it. In that contrast, Homeless Life Stories seeks not to judge, but to understand. Because every senior sleeping under a bridge once had a life, a job, a family, a home. Their stories are not failures, they are warnings, quiet reminders that a society's true strength lies not in its tallest resort tower, but in how it treats its most vulnerable. Number 2. Mapping senior homelessness. When night falls over Florida, the warmth visitors expect is often a lie. Cold fronts sweep down from the north, dropping temperatures into the 30s in cities unprepared for winter. In Tampa Heights, shadows of tents begin to stretch beneath overpasses. In Orlando, seniors huddle behind bus depots. In Daytona Beach, the cold air off the ocean slips through thin blankets like needles. Among them is Evelyn, a 72-year-old woman who once worked as a hotel clerk in Miami Beach. She sits quietly near a downtown shelter each night, clutching a small bag with her medication. When asked what she missed most, she didn't mention her apartment or her old job. She whispered, "I miss having a door I could close and feel safe." Her words reveal the deeper truth about senior homelessness. It is not only the loss of shelter, it is the loss of dignity, safety, identity. From Pensacola's campgrounds to Fort Myers parking lots, thousands of stories like Evelyn's unfold each week. Each street corner, park bench, and abandoned building carries the weight of lives spent battling the quiet storm of poverty, age, and isolation. And within those shadows, an uncomfortable question lingers. Are we truly seeing these seniors, or simply walking past them as if they were invisible? Number 3. Numbers and faces. Florida's senior homelessness crisis is growing faster than almost anywhere in the country. More than 11,000 seniors over age 60 are experiencing homelessness in the state, a number that has nearly doubled in the last 10 years. Nearly half of them sleep completely unsheltered, exposed to wind, rain, and winter cold. Every number on paper is a human heartbeat, trying to survive another night. One such heartbeat belongs to George, age 78, who has lived behind a strip mall in Jacksonville for almost 3 years. He was once a carpenter. He built homes for other families. But when medical bills swallowed his savings and rent increased faster than his Social Security check, the ground beneath his life crumbled. When asked what advice he would give others at risk, he said slowly, "Ask for help before you feel ashamed. Shame is what keeps people outside, not lack of help." His words are more than a story. They are a reminder that homelessness can touch anyone, a reminder that aging isn't a shield against hardship. It is often the moment when the system reveals its cracks. Number 4. Social support systems and their limits. Florida offers shelters, warming centers, and senior assistance programs, but these systems strain under growing demand. In Miami-Dade, emergency shelters often fill before dark. In Tampa, seniors line up with walkers and canes, hoping for one of the few available beds. In Orlando, some shelters do not allow mobility devices, pets, or extended stays, rules meant to create order, but which often leave seniors outside. Among them is Luis, 69, a veteran living near Clearwater. After back surgery, he couldn't return to physical work. His modest disability check barely covered rent, and when the landlord raised prices, he slipped into homelessness. "The hardest part isn't sleeping outside," he said. "It's trying to keep my medicine cold in the summer and trying to keep myself warm in the winter." His story exposes the gaps a system cannot ignore. Temporary shelters cannot replace long-term solutions, and each rule, each shortage, each closed door pushes seniors closer to danger. So we must ask, can a state of prosperity truly call itself strong when its elders sleep in parking lots? Number 5. Public health and the silent emergency. In a state where more than 1 in 5 residents is over 65, the public health crisis tied to homelessness is severe. On the streets of Fort Lauderdale, seniors gather around public restrooms for access to water. In Orlando, mobile clinics see long lines of older adults battling colds, infections, and chronic illnesses. In Jacksonville, the lack of identification prevents many from accessing treatment and medication. More than 40% of homeless seniors in Florida experience mental health challenges. Many battle loneliness deeper than any illness. Some go days without speaking to another human being. And children suffer too. Grandparents raising grandchildren face the impossible choice between food and shelter. When housing disappears, entire families slip through cracks, arriving at schools tired, cold, and hungry. This is not just a social issue. It is a public health warning. Every time society ignores the weakest members, it weakens its own foundation. Number 6. Florida, a social illness. Beyond poverty lies another force pulling seniors into homelessness: addiction, medical dependency, and untreated trauma. In cities like Miami Gardens and West Palm Beach, older adults struggling with opioid addictions mix with a younger crowd lost in similar cycles. Some became dependent on painkillers after surgeries. Others sought relief from chronic pain and isolation. Among them is Rita, a 67-year-old grandmother who once cooked for a small diner in Tallahassee. Addiction pulled her into a spiral she never saw coming. She said quietly, "It's not the cold that hurts the most. It's when nobody calls your name anymore." Her small dream now is simply a room with a door, a room where she can sleep without fear, a room where she can remember who she once was. Her story is not rare. It is a reflection of a growing crisis across Florida's cities, a crisis of loneliness, despair, and a system unprepared for the tidal wave of aging Americans slipping through its cracks. Number 7. Housing and New Hope. Florida is trying. In 2025, several cities launched rapid housing initiatives to address rising homelessness. Miami's affordable housing expansion aims to build more senior units by 2026. Tampa plans specialized shelters for elderly residents. Jacksonville has opened new transitional programs designed specifically for seniors with medical needs. At one such housing center in St. Petersburg, older adults who once slept in parking lots now sit on warm beds, hang pictures on their walls, and begin again. One resident, Henry, age 71, said, "A key. I never thought I'd hold a key again." His joy captures the purpose of these programs, not just to place seniors inside four walls, but to restore dignity, stability, and hope. And yet, a question lingers. If a state can build new housing, but fails to build compassion, can the change truly endure? Number 8. Community stories and compassion. Along beaches, highways, and city blocks, ordinary Floridians extend extraordinary kindness. In Tampa, volunteers hand out blankets during cold snaps. In Miami, community groups prepare hot meals for seniors who cannot stand in long lines. In Orlando, faith-based organizations deliver hygiene kits and offer warm words of comfort. Sometimes compassion is only a gentle hand on a shoulder, a whisper of, "Are you okay?" But for someone who feels invisible, it becomes a lifeline. At senior outreach circles across the state, you'll find caregivers offering counseling, job support, addiction recovery, and simple human warmth. This kind of community is not built by governments, it grows from hearts willing to care. Do you believe that sometimes the smallest gesture can change an entire life? Number 9. Invisible divides. Florida's lawmakers meet each year to discuss infrastructure, tourism, development. But when it comes to seniors sleeping on sidewalks, the conversations often fall silent. Policies meant to clean up public spaces, banning tents, prohibiting overnight stays, restricting panhandling, fall hardest on seniors with nowhere else to go. One small citation can destroy a fragile chance at housing or a job. One arrest can push a senior into an irreversible downward spiral. Meanwhile, wealthy districts from Naples to Sarasota receive priority investment, while low-income neighborhoods face limited transit, inadequate health care, and constant displacement. The state seems divided into two maps, one glowing with comfort, the other shaded by survival. So the question is not why seniors cannot simply get back on their feet. It is why a state this wealthy allows them to fall in the first place. Number 10. A call to action for Florida, Florida. The land of sunshine and warmth becomes a land of icy nights for thousands of seniors. This winter, many will sleep outside. Many will battle illness. Some will not survive. The future of Florida cannot be measured only in tourism numbers or real estate growth. It must be measured in compassion, in how it protects its seniors, the ones who have worked, lived, and contributed for decades. Rapid housing programs, emergency shelters, and volunteer networks are sparks of hope. But they need nurturing. From communities, from leaders, from each of us. Can Florida truly be proud when seniors sleep beneath palm trees trembling in the wind? Can the Sunshine State shine if thousands shiver in darkness? Homeless Life Stories believes change begins with understanding, with stories shared, tears shed, and compassion turned into action. If this story moved you, please leave a comment, press like, and subscribe, not just to support the channel, but to stand with the seniors who still hope for a warm night, a safe place, a key to call their own. Florida, like any state, will only be strong when no elder is left behind.